This one grinds in all of them. What the shit?
$100 each time you.
Everybody's gonna get to see me rebuild a NV4500 now. I'm just gonna use the other one that came out of this truck. So today I'm gonna be tearing into later model NV4500. This is out of a 2001 Dodge, and it's kind of the updated model. It's got the heavy-duty tail housing, but it's missing a tooth on second gear. I ended up swapping out the trans in that truck. Took this one out. Ended up being that the one I put in the truck was completely shot. So that was a mistake on my end. But the cheaper, more effective route is just to replace the second gear. But while I'm in there, I'm going to make sure everything else is still good. But first things first, we got to take the tail off. We got to take the bell housing off. Take the shifter tower top plate off. And I'll show you guys the damage. Alright, for those of you guys that saw this in the last video, here's our issue. Hopefully we got the right part. Second gear ground, we're missing that thing there. But we're going to go tear her out. The main shaft comes out pretty easily. Take these out, take this out, but then it does have the updated 5th gear nut, but yeah, we're not too thrilled about seeing that slop, so glad we had this apart. We'll get her fixed up. Okay, so there's a taper bearing on this side, taper bearing on that side. You got to pull both those out so the main shaft can tilt up out of there, but we got to take stuff out on the back, so we're just going to start tearing into this old girl. Let's see here. Looks like the front, that'll be easy to replace this. Here's the part where you guys help. I do have that spare trans over there, so I can recite that for additional information on reassembly. Taking it apart's easy. Putting it back together is where it comes challenging. So you just pop this off the front, no problem. 4 bolts, and then your input shaft comes right out. I'm going to put everything front is going to be faced up. So that's how this guy is here. That goes in like that. That goes in like that. So let's go ahead and try to check in there, or come with me. You'll pull that out. That's your reverse gear. It drops down. Now I think it'll come out. Yep, that was 100% the problem. Reverse gear. Oh, don't fall off there. I need you in order so you know what to do. That's good. Counter shaft's in good shape. Reverse gear just fell down, so that's what's making the noise. Yeah. That other spare transmission, this was missing 2 teeth. That's your third gear right there. Alright, hopefully this works and doesn't drop this heavy mess. Fairly simple process once you get the thing out of there. Trying to keep everything in order. But this is what we're after. This is the second gear. Oh man, that's kind of an awkward one there. Second gear. What do we call it? Second gear pain in the butt. Second gear synchro. That's second gear there. That's third gear, the broken one. I got another one of those. I need to go grab it out of the truck. But this was a rebuilt trans. I've had pretty good luck with NV4500. Never had a grinding issue until this one, and then the new one that I put in it had the same issue. Let's not take the part. Come on, baby, slide. It acts like this wants to go. Let's see if we can take her out in chunks. I don't know what the deal is. Looks fine. So what the synchro does, it's like a little clutch pack goes in there, and then when you go to put it in the gear, it pushes on this to help match the speed. It's double-sided. I've never taken one of these apart before. If this was a 4-speed auto, we'd be all about this, but I mean, everything's in the positions it should be. Huh. Well, I don't need to take it down any farther than this because the rest of the gears work perfectly, so. Not sure what the deal was there. But we do have a broken tooth on the third gear. And I also bought a brand new second gear as well. Okay, these are extra little shift fork things. Bought those just to have in stock. This is it's technically a master rebuild kit, which is synchros and bearings and seals, gaskets. That's cool. Didn't think it was gonna come with those. Oh wow, it even came with, oh, cool deal. This is a pretty good deal for how much they are individually. There ain't too much more on it. Here's all the synchros are the same. For the price of everything, if you just buy it individually or just buy it a whole kit, even though I only needed a couple of pieces, much better off just buying all of it. I won't need the new bearings, but I'll have them. It's not as detailed as I thought it was going to be. Seals. Needle bearings. It's like the reverse gear. That would have came with. I mean, this one's perfectly fine, but it's kind of funny it doesn't have that. here is our beloved third gear that had issues. Huh. That's funny. Shop manager in the house. He's on a water break. Okay, I think this is the last piece I need to put on there before Callahan throws a fit. When you rotate, somewhere in here, there it goes. And then you got to put your plate back on there, or else these little keepers will fly out. But I think we're all back together. Only piece I don't have back in it is that synchro and that synchro. So this one is just because this one was actually possibly the trouble one. I'm gonna do a new clutch and everything on this truck this time too, because I ain't gonna fight it. Hey, what you doing over there? I gave you a water break, boss. Boss, you got a water break. Yes, yours. Hey, you want your cameras? Give me the cameras. Yeah. Alright, the shaft's in there. There is shims that go on the back side. This is the output shaft. But there's shims that go in there to adjust the preload. And I'm just going to put the old ones back in there because the races are fine, bearings are fine. Literally, only thing that was wrong with this trans was the synchro. Guess it doesn't look bad, but the synchro for second gear and third gear is missing that tooth. So when you put that back in there, make sure you put this on before you tighten up the bolts for the back of it, because there's not enough room really to get that in there. It's kind of a pain in the butt. But now we are ready to put the input shaft on there. So I'll show you the a lot of this stuff when you're putting those shims on there, and this, I'll put grease on it or I'll rack it up like this so it'll hold it in place. But bearing side out. Clean a little bit of the gump off this thing. It's sitting here. Get that bearing good lubed up. Went on dry bearing. Just sprayed it off just to get the stuff from the table off of it. That guy goes there, rides on that. This guy goes in. Just like that. And the race is right there. I replaced the seal already to lube up the race, lube up the seal. And that's it for the front. I'll need to put some RTV on that, and that's ready to go on. Show the bearing. Everything on this was working good. I want to clarify that, except for the stuff I replaced. I'm in the business of it. It's not broken. Let's not start working on it. And in reality, this trans was the only time second gear would grind is if you were speed shifting, but if you shifted like a gentleman, it was perfectly fine. Not really sure what the deal is with that. Everything looked fine, but we did notice one bad tooth, and I didn't have the good conscience to put this trans back together or put the truck up for market, knowing that it possibly had something wrong with the trans. And the missing tooth is wrong with the trans. And there's a tiny little pin. You guys can even see that little pin. Thought it went up in there. Whoa. Whoa. Got this little tiny pin to go on there. Let's fight. Oh, come on, magnet. There we go. And that holds that thrust washer. You spin on the shaft. You got your bearing. You can't have, let's see, there's another hole right there. Lubrication for that. That guy goes on there. You need to put that on there with it. Looks a little ringy, but let's see how tight she fits. I think that's terrible. Put my two pins in there. Oh crap, I'm hitting myself. Oh shit. There it goes. I don't need it to be in gear. Back up. Get out of gear. Well, I think I got to put that cage one back on it because it's different than the other output shaft, so. Weird to me. I just assume put that guy back in there, I guess. We'll get a better nut on there though. Yeah, look at that. That's got to have the different one on it because that's way. Huh, that's different. Yeah, that's weird. And then you put that on there to lock it. Learn something new every day, boys. That's the way it goes. Put that guy on there. Okay, one on this side. Look at the torque spec, tighten that thing down. And I guess we could. Yeah, we'll just put this one on. I told you it was almost 300 foot-pounds for the torque spec on this sucker. So to do that, I'm going to put it back in the truck. One more piece to the puzzle. Take these guys off. Possibly. Not in terrible shape, but we got new ones. Give them two different sizes, it looks like. I don't know. Had black ones on it, we're gonna put black ones back on it. I don't get it. You get it? Go in your home. What?
A crackhead torch?
Crackhead torch? No. Got a heat gun. That's all I got.
Well, I don't want to take your battery.
Go ahead. Okay. Well, I've been finishing up the rebuild on this NV4500 that's going to go into a 01 truck. Got another one right here that's got issues that'll probably land the same fate as that. That one's got more hard parts that are broken, less so of actual friction material. Fairly confident this truck is pretty much all original tape player. Aftermarket dash, I did redo the heater core, but check this. Okay, here's the new trans. It's going to go in there. That is the one that came out of the truck. It was a rebuilt trans originally, but it had a tooth got broken and a couple other issues. So I rebuilt her. We're going to slap her in there. This process takes about 40 minutes. See if I can do it in that time. But let's just get her rocking and rolling. There we go. Took 43 minutes. Taylor came down and said hello. Brought Callahan down to hang out. Trans is out, and I just got to wiggle that sucker out of there. I'm going to go ahead and put a new clutch in there. Last time I opted out of it, the old one looked completely brand new. I'm sure it's very few thousands have probably been worn off of it, but I'm going to go ahead, put a stock one in there. That's all this truck requires. It's not tuned or nothing, so we just want to knock out any possible issues. Not going to skip steps. It's funny how good hindsight is. I pulled the old clutch off, which was supposedly a pretty fresh one, but a new one comes with new pilot bearing, new throwout bearing. Let's go ahead and check to see how much the clutch itself had wore. Let's switch hands. We're at about 23 thou. Ooh. This clutch was not as fresh as I thought it was. $20 thousandths of wear. So new clutch should definitely help. Slap that thing in there real quick. We are about an hour into this project, so I could probably have it back together in an hour and a half. I drained the fluid out of it. It was brand new stuff. You guys know the deal. That was tragedy. Funny story for you guys. The biggest fail I think I've ever seen as far as doing a clutch job was, I'll go down here and show you. So this is your clutch if you guys aren't familiar. When you push the pedal, it pushes on these little fingers right here and it releases the friction disc that is back smashed in between there. I don't know about a stock clutch, but like on a dual disc, it's like 3,000 pounds of pressure pushing on that disc in there. But when you're putting it on there, you go around and tighten it, X pattern, yada yada. This isn't the right socket. Where'd it go? There it is. So, see what happened there? Sometimes if you have like a 6-sided socket, this is a 12er, it'll stay snugged up onto the bolt right there. Old heartbreakers here. And this gal I knew back in the day, she said she had this trouble with her truck. Every once in a while, it would kind of make like a noise, sound like something was wound up on the drive shaft, just beating the crap out of it. Come to find out that somebody swapped the clutch out, you know, pulled the socket out of it, out of the gun, left it on there, and later on in its life it finally fell off of there and started going around right here. That was like the biggest fail I think I've ever seen with the clutch. And or somebody I know didn't tighten the it wasn't me, but they didn't tighten the flywheel bolts. Oh, I'll kick this tranny dome in the head.
Oh, yeah, just look at that video. I know what I'm doing. I'm a training professional in the training business over here. My name's Samson.
My buddy Austin told me how to do this.
Sun Channel. Hope you guys enjoy my training work. The best in town.
Best in town. Question. Hang on. He's screwing his tip. Do that again. Do that again. You screwed
I have the little spiky thing on this thing, and I couldn't reach it with anything, and I didn't want too big of a hole. And I couldn't find anything, and I don't want to take your nice screwdriver in there and shove it down in here.
Go get your own screwdriver. No, you're not. You're stealing my shit. I don't know what you're saying, but shut up. Hey, you know what's red and bad for your teeth? A brick. Now shut up. All right. Slot the transmission back in there. Gotta tighten the 5th gear nut, so I'm going to install my barring tool in the adapter plate. Slides into the flywheel, and then I can get a wrench on the back side of that. I'll put the trans in gear, and I can tighten that down to spec. What did I do with the cushion? Bought a seat cushion, seat cover. Oh, it's in the back of the seat here. So I think this definitely helps the value of a truck go up or down. If the seat is torn up like this, it's not the end of the world, except for it just hurts the value of it, I believe. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this off. I got a new cushion, I got a new cover. I'm going to swap her out. I think I can get this done without taking the seat out. Boone? He was taking a nap underneath the Charger, leaking tranny oil. So I went and gave him a bath, and he's running around, free-birding it. I'm screwing that one. Yeah, he came over and was hanging out underneath the truck with me, and I was like, what the hell, why are you all red? You smell like transmission fluid, boy. What is holding you? That was enough struggle busting for one morning. We don't need to do that some more. Now don't tell me it's clamped in between that. I think it doesn't. Winner! Got you out, sucker. Woo! You get your dad to go bring me my vacuum back.
UAC GTXs. You can run after the
That looks like a comfortable seat. That's all the Charger has right there, just that crap. See, that'll work. That looks like 3 times bigger than the old one. I think I just bought this stuff off Amazon, so if you guys want a link for it, check it out on Amazon. Before. Doesn't quite feel factory, but damn, it actually looks pretty close. Pretty proud of myself that I got that sucker on there without destroying something. That was not easy. It didn't take me that long either. For everybody that always kind of avoids putting a new seat cushion, new cover on their stuff, I think I was into that for a little over $100, and it's done deal. Seats in, transmission fluid's in, transfer case wasn't drained, so it's still got fluid. Clutch is in. Everything's back together. Let's see how she does. Drives. All right, the initial test drive. That's not my oil. Somebody sprayed a bunch of stuff here. I just wanted to check it. Oh, we'll see how she does. Back down the hill. I went through all the gears. Feels tight. Feels real tight, which is good. Oh yeah, I can kind of slam it in a second now. This trans before, that was the only problem with it, was second gear would throw a fit if you tried to slam it. If you shifted it like a gentleman, it was perfectly fine. Oh. It's Synchro's just getting back into formation and everything, getting a little bit of lubrication thrown at them. I did lube them before I threw them in, but even going 5th gear. Oh, that's a good feeling. I like it. This is actually a pretty nice truck. I need a new windshield though. Let's see if we get around to that. Well, boys, gave her a quick power wash and hit her with the foam cannon. You know, it's honestly so freaking white right now that I can't really look at it without my sunglasses on. Cleaned up the interior, got my new foam in, new cover. This truck actually cleaned up pretty dang good for you know, cowboy truck. It's got power, nothing. It's got air conditioning, which I don't know how dirty my face is right now, but air conditioning I still got to fix. All 4 doors work. Typically the back door, that handle will end up breaking or something crap. But the 5-speed is ready to rock and roll. I'm going to do some more test miles on it before I put her up for sale. But just to have you guys know, a truck like this, even though it's not crank, or even though it's not power mirrors or power windows or power locks, it's still got, you know, AM, FM for back in the day. It's got air conditioning. It's a pretty desirable truck. But just thinking at it on a parts standpoint, the 5-speed alone is several $1,000s. 5-speed swap, nowadays, I don't know if I'd turn loose of it for $4,000. It used to be going $2,000 for a 5-speed swap. That includes drive shafts, transfer case, clutch pedals. Clutch pedals, if you were to break it down, are around $300. Get the clutch pedal and the brake pedal. It goes in there. It's all-in-one. They automatic, I'll open it up for the 3rd time. Automatic and stick shift trucks. It just the same pedal assembly thing underneath there. You just got to add that extra pedal and the different brake pedal. Having that thing around right there, that thing's $300-400 for the console in the center. And if you want to get you know, the cubby, so it's actually legit. There was a couple bolts on this thing that weren't OEM. Somebody that replaced the trans before put the different bolt in there, same thread and everything, but I put the correct one in. It doesn't really matter, but just to say it's got the correct authenticity. I can't even say it. But you guys get what I'm saying. I've been kind of cranking away at this thing all day. It's about 100 degrees outside right now, and I am cooking. But just got to fix the air conditioner on this thing. Show you guys this side of the truck. This is just an awesome work truck, hands down. I really debated on just putting a little service bed on this thing, but at the end of the day, I need to have a dually, and I think that's kind of why I want to get rid of this thing, is because unless it's a play truck, it's got to be a, you know, I got to have a dually for work. So get a new windshield slapped in this thing, so this thing's ready to go. But the air conditioning is the last bit to do. So the V-neck is my new work shirt, because I accidentally bought these things. I hate them. But every time I come down to the shop and work on anything, they get destroyed. So that's what happens. That's why I'm wearing a V-neck. But this right here is the blend door for your air conditioning heater. You got to cut that stuff out of the way so you can get to the screw in the back and get the motor out of the way. On early second gens, it's a cable, pretty much flawless system. Cannot destroy it. It is works perfect for years and years and years. Everyone I have ever had works perfect. But the second gen 24 valves, basically 98 and up, will have an electronic one, and it has this little coupler that ends up breaking. So I'm going to try and fix this one, because I want to see if it's going to work, because the motor works, goes back and forth. So I'm going to get some Gorilla super glue out and get this thing fixed up. So here's the coupler. The stock one's plastic. I'm going to just go ahead and order this right now. But I'm going to fix this one because I want the air conditioning in the truck. Pretty sure this one's metal. It looks metal. 20 bucks for that little freaking thing right there. The motor works, but anyway. Hey Siri, play music. Well, albeit it's not about 85 degrees outside right now, but it's down to 36. That's pretty dang cold considering it was hotter than a mofo earlier when I did some towing of this truck earlier. That's right. I didn't take any video of it because we were just in a rush, but I had the gooseneck ball out and everything. To do this truck, I've never owned a VP44 truck before because I kind of steered away from them because my old man had issues with his since brand new. Biggest cure to it is put a Bass or an Air Dog on it, and it saves your injection pump, and your lift pump obviously will be replaced. But this truck, I've heard of this before, but I always kind of figured it was a lazy kind of a smog inspector kind of a guy. We noticed VP44 2001 24 valve trucks, they don't have EGR and stuff. It's pre-EGR technically, pre-6.7. Some 12 valves did have EGR valves on them. Very crude, very garbagey design. Sent straight hot air right into the engine. But as far as I knew, these things all came with catalytic converters. This truck, when I bought it, had issues passing smog because it showed excessive blow-by. Turned out the vacuum pump just had a leak on it. It was pulling excessive air in through the vacuum pump, and since it's not, can't go anywhere besides back out somewhere, just like a vacuum cleaner, it's got to exhaust somewhere. Instead of building a vacuum, which there would be no exhaust, this thing looked like it had blow-by. So I fixed the broken vacuum boot. Got no more excessive looking blow-by. Engine runs great. There's no blow-by on it. Fix that. This thing should pass smog no problem, which it did, but the smog inspector got mad because this truck from factory should not have come with a catalytic converter. That means this truck is 100% zero emissions, legally truck. I thought that was kind of cool. That makes it kind of worth me wanting to hang on to it. But as soon as I put that straight pipe back on it, legally, state of California don't care. Other states obviously won't care then at that point. This truck will be ready to go on to its new owner. Very sad to see it go. I actually really do like this truck and I like the story about it, but I can't justify keeping it around because I don't want to be one of those guys that I'll get to it someday. I got other projects I want to work on. And this thing will be done and out of here, so let's go ahead and pull this cat back off. I keep cat around for small purposes, small chick purposes. damn thing got a hole in it. I'll fix that. Oh, that'll never hold. Shut up. Money. This is 4-inch turbo back with a muffler. It doesn't really sound any more than stock. It sounds exactly like stock. Muffler calms it down a lot. Alright, so this truck has manual locking hubs on the front end. That's not stock. You can't put your stock hubcaps on this. It's been driving me nuts seeing those exposed like this. So I bought a 4.5-inch hole saw, and I don't really know how to hold this down other than putting it on the back tire. So check this out. Watch hole saws, I'll kick the crap out of you. I'll clean her up a little bit, but you get the point. Boom, boom. Alrighty guys, a little bit of a late night outro, but I didn't plan on making this video into one part. I thought I was going to do a two-part with the transmission, and then the second one going through the rest of the truck, going over all the odds and ends that it needed. But more or less, I like the way this video flowed into one longer video. So the Cowboy truck has been ready to rock and roll. I did rebuild the transmission several months ago. Driven it quite a bit since then. I've actually been daily driving this truck. It's been growing on me. Put new windshield in it literally today. Air conditioner blows extremely cold. It's got a new heater core in it. Blower functions work out, defrost, face, foot, all the works. High, medium, low, all that stuff. Only thing this truck really needs, and it's not that bad, but it would need a paint job. Clear coat is coming off on the roof and the hood like it typically does. B&W turnover ball, 354 gears with brand new 5-speed, new clutch, new injection pump, new lift pump. Thing's got quite a bit of fresh stuff on it. It's got manual locking hubs on here, which is a pretty expensive option on its own. But I'm going to throw the number out there. I mean, the truck's mechanically sound. It's got everything rocking and rolling. I have no problem keeping this. But like I said earlier, probably need to thin the herd. Made a good friend when I bought this truck, so I like that story on its own. But if somebody's interested in this thing, the number's going to be $15,000. That's why we're asking for it. It's California legal, and it is straight pipe, zero emissions truck. So that's the number that it will take to buy it. If not, I'm going to more than likely keep this truck for a while. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what your favorite part was. And yeah, make sure you don't do that fail that they did with the transmission. Make sure all the tools are removed from the bell housing when reinstalling the trans. All right, later.